Good morning. It's another episode of Plus Sports on PlusTvAfrica. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, no cloud in sight. I can't tell you the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes to bring some sports news to you every morning. So I hope you enjoy and appreciate today's news. My name is Mikhail Tinubu. I'm your host this Wednesday morning and hopefully every Wednesday going forward. We start with Nigeria. The world governing body, FIFA, has shown its recognition for late Mudashiru Babatunde Lawa, aka Muda, who is widely recognized as unarguably one of Nigeria's finest ever footballers. It has been 3 decades since the Nigerian legend passed, and the World Football Governing Body took to their official Twitter account to pay homage to a great. In its tweet, FIFA said Muda Lawa inspired Nigeria to their first AFCON title in 1980 and was the first African player to appear in 5 consecutive editions of the competition. They are quoted as saying, 30 years ago today, the Super Eagles legend passed away aged 37. The former Green Eagles, now Super Eagles captain, played in his 5 consecutive African Nations Cup from 1976 to 1984. He played a key role in the 1980 Nations Cup title run and scored one of the 3 goals in the final match. His death in July 6, 1991, just a few months after he retired from playing actively the game, hit the nation hard. Tributes poured in from all corners of Nigeria and Africa. Ogun State, his home state, quickly renamed the Ashero Stadium after him. At the time, Ashero Stadium was the mecca of football in the state and served as the home to great teams like Abiola Babes, Concord FC, and Gateway FC. Now, I have with me Sayo Oguntoye this morning. Shaya?
Good morning, Mikhail.
Good morning. Nice to have you with me. This story kind of raised some issues with me. It really touched at my heart. So this is a great, unarguably one of our very best to ever play the game, not just in Nigeria, but on the continent, and has been recognized by FIFA, the world governing body. So our legends are recognized internationally, but the stadiums that are named after them seem to be in disrepair. What do you make of this?
Well, let me start by saying this news regarding Lawa is serving a bitter sweet taste in my mouth. First of all, I'm happy with the fact that he is recognized internationally. FIFA were able to remember him who died 30 years ago. But I'm not happy with the fact that he's only known internationally. Right in his own home here in Nigeria, he is not appreciated, he's not known, he's forgotten. And I think it's a sad story. You mentioned earlier now that he was very instrumental in our 1980 Nations Cup triumph. The first ever Nations Cup win. He was instrumental in that. And he was an amazing player. Come rain, come shine, gives his best. And all of a sudden he dies and the rest is history. I think it's not something we need to imbibe or to continue doing. We need to stop this attitude. I think the only thing that was done to him was immortalizing him, maybe a modern Lawa stadium, and that is just it. That's just it. I think we can do more for our legends. We can do more for them.
Shaya?
Yeah, I'm with you.
I think you've touched very aptly on what I feel is the real problem at the root of our football and the way our governing body handles our sports. If our legends are recognized internationally and yet we don't live up to the code of honor that we should label their names in to let the next generation recognize and remember these great athletes, how can their legacies sustain?
See, I want to talk deeply now on this. Not just Lawa. We know of someone of Olajuwon who died here in Lagos. It's not a palatable story. It's not. Okay, let me give an example. Do Nigeria have clips of 1980 Nations Cup triumph? The answer is no. If we have, they are very, very sketchy. But yet, in the outside world, clips of 1920 World football tournament can still be found. Where are the archives? I mean, these are ways we can bring in younger generations to show them what happened before they came, and that's how they can appreciate what was before them. Not just trying to cut the bridge and amend it. I mean, it's not done. It's not done. Everybody in Nigeria here needs to set things right and need to do the right things at the right time.
Now, for someone like me, Shayo, I was born in 1990. And this man, this great legend, died in 1991. I have never seen a footage of him play. And back to the contributions he made in 1980. He actually scored one of the 3 goals in the finals of that match. I have never seen that goal. And many in my age bracket certainly have not either. Should the governing body be doing more to recognize and remember and even let us, educate us and youngsters that are coming up the ranks to learn more about these legends as time goes on?
You see, start to say, just like you said now, you were not opportune to see clips or videos of Lawa. Yes, but yes, he died shortly after your birth. It's so sad. It's so sad. It's not something of 100 years ago we're talking about, or 50 years ago we're talking about. We're talking about at least 30 years ago. We cannot have a clip of a legend. Even someone like Parachutu who died, we don't have clips of him, and it shows the kind of culture we have. We don't have a good culture, that remembers people who should not be forgotten. And it's so sad. It's really so sad.
Well, we hope that these legends are never forgotten. Now, on to Italy versus Spain. With Italy on the back foot throughout the first half as Spain controlled most of the possession, it was Mancini's men that broke the deadlock in the 60th minute through Federico Chiesa. The Italians had to cope with playing a more defensive game and ceding possession to their opponents for the first time in the tournament. Spain got a deserved goal in the 79th minute through Alvaro Morata, as Danny almost slipped the striker in after a clever 1-2 exchange. The match, which went into extra time, finally got settled through penalties as Italy steeled their nerves from 12 yards to go through to the finals. They will now play the winners from the other semi-final match between England and Denmark, taking place later today. Shayo, this match was incredible. I mean, I watched it and it reminded me of the good old Italy versus Spain matchups. Italy had to revert back to type, to defend deep, counter quickly, but they struggled to create chances.
Let me start by saying the well-dressed manager in this tournament so far so good has taken the best efficient and well-drilled team into the final. Mancini has taken Italy into the final totally deservedly. And they say his pitching time is nice. If Spain had put away their chances, that game would have ended in favor of Spain. So, having said all of that, I think it was just a time bomb waiting to explode. Italy, we know them, they are for their youngness, their defensive display, and it showed on the night. Spain marauded them so far to the 120 minutes, and it was all for Italy to grab right at the penalty stages. It was an amazing game. It was an amazing game from start to finish. You could not take your eyes off the screen for 1 second. It was just so amazing.
Well, speaking of chances,
Okay?
Shayo, speaking of chances created for Spain, I actually thought that they created more chances and their attack was more fluid in this match. With Danny Olmo playing as a false nine for them, he seemed to pull the strings and really slip in a lot of passes to his wingers. And when Alvaro Morata came on, he benefited from that kind of football. But still, they struggled to put those chances, even though they were more than in previous matches, they still managed to, they still found it hard to actually put them away. Do you think Spain are just struggling for a number nine in the mode of Diego that
Well,
retired a few years ago?
Well, ever since the retirement of David Villa, they have been struggling to find a replacement for him. Diego Costa came, was either here or there. I mean,
Well, Diego Costa wasn't
he just
here.
really fit into the Spanish national team, just like Villa did. And I think, like I said, in kitchen time says, like if they had scored, maybe if Oyazabal had scored that chance he had, we would not have been saying what we are saying now. But Italy, right from the very first game, they rode on what they know how to do best. They did it, and I mean, they are just the most efficient team. And I want to make a bold statement here that Denmark will join Italy in the finals.
Wow. Wow. Bold statement indeed. Well, let's see. We'll see the match later today, and you and I can make a private bet if need be. Emiliano Martinez was the hero for Argentina as he saved 3 times in a shootout to take his team into a Copa America final matchup with Brazil after Tuesday, July 6th semi-final against Colombia finished 1-1 after 90 minutes. Lionel Messi, Leandro Paredes and Lautaro Martinez scored for Argentina as they booked a spot against the host nation in Saturday's July 10th final at Rio de Janeiro Maracana Stadium. Both sides had chances to win in an intense end-to-end match punctuated by 46 fouls and 10 yellow cards. Argentina are seeking to win their first major international title since lifting the Copa America in 1993, and once again, Lionel Messi was the star man, notching up his 5th assist of the tournament to add to his 4 goals. Taking a superb pass from Giovanni Lo Celso, after 6 minutes, Messi rolled the ball to Lautaro Martinez to fire home a low shot and give Argentina the lead. Colombia hit the woodwork twice in a minute towards the end of the first half before scoring their equalizer on the hour mark, when Luis Diaz finished from a tight angle to complete a surprise counterattack. Argentina are now unbeaten in 19 games, with their last loss coming to Brazil in the semi-final of the 2019 Copa America. They were also the last team to beat Brazil in November 2019 when Messi got the only goal of the game in a friendly in Saudi Arabia. Shayo, this final promises to be a nail-biter. Who do you think has the edge?
Well, between Brazil and Argentina, it looks like Brazil. But if Lionel Messi is looking for an international trophy, I think we need to grab this one now. I think it is time. This is his third final now, if I'm not mistaken. This is his third final with Argentina. He needs to take this one. I mean, it just needs to be bold because he has no more excuse of not getting an international trophy. And having been the star for this tournament, I'm very sure he's likely going to bag the most valuable player of the tournament. He's been amazing so far, so good. If he doesn't score, he makes assists. He doesn't make assists. He throws in those free kicks. He makes the keeper stunned and makes the fans, wow. So I think this is his tournament. He has to win it. Charlie West, Ronaldo Sporting are out of the heroes.
Well, it brings to mind the debate between both Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, because if he wins this trophy, Messi still won't be considered greater than Maradona, because the trophy that really lives up to the expectations for this great player is the World Cup.
Well, I want to look at Messi as the best Argentina has ever had. I don't want to say Maradona as one of the, yes, he's one of the best, but not the best Argentina had. I think Messi and in the world we have, it's just unfortunate that we have two greatest players playing at the same time. I think the world has never seen something as that before. You know, we used to have one player when he goes on the two lights in his career, and that one rises up. But this time, Ronaldo and Messi have dominated the scene of football for over a decade, and it's amazing why people say it's Ronaldo or Messi. I mean, it's just that I think both players are amazing. They are great.
But then, Shayo,
I mean, yes.
with Ronaldo having the Euros to his name, does the Copa America really compete on the level of prestige with the Euros?
Yes, it is a continental tournament.
Yes, but the amount of revenue and the amount of prestige, I don't think they are level or equal.
In terms of revenue, they might not. Yes, I agree. But when it comes to the prestige, for example, then when it comes to trophies, what is going to be added to Messi's trophy cabinet. So I think it's something he needs to just try and get done. And this is one of the things that is holding him back in the debate of who is the greatest between Ronaldo and Messi. Ronaldo has won it everywhere he has been to. Messi, when it comes to the national team, he's shy. So this is his chance. If he doesn't, then I don't know when.
Well, in America, the American sprinter Sha'carri Richardson will not be selected to the U.S. 4x100-meter relay team for the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo after she accepted a one-month ban for testing positive for cannabis. Gloria So reports. American sprinter Sha'carri Richardson won't be headed to the Tokyo Olympics after USA Track and Field announced she would not be selected for the 4x100-meter relay. Richardson was expected to be one of the biggest draws at the upcoming games, but was barred from the 100 meters race after testing positive for cannabis use, wiping out her victory at the US Olympic trials last month. After her suspension, fans hoped she would be chosen to compete in the relay event. Coaches and USA Track and Field can select 2 runners on top of the first 4 trials finishers, but chose not to allow Richardson to compete. Richardson said in an NBC interview last week that she used the banned substance to cope with the death of her mother, but took responsibility for breaking Olympic rules. USA Track and Field said the World Anti-Doping Agency would reevaluate its rules regarding THC, the main active ingredient in cannabis.
American sprinter Sha'carri Richardson won't be headed to the Tokyo Olympics after USA Track and Field announced she would not be selected for the 4x100-meter relay. Richardson was expected to be one of the biggest draws at the upcoming games, but was barred from the 100-meter race after testing positive for cannabis use, wiping out her victory at the U.S. Olympic trials last month. After her suspension, fans hoped she would be chosen to compete in the relay event. Coaches and USA Track and Field can select 2 runners on top of the first 4 trials finishers, but chose not to allow Richardson to compete. In a statement, USA Track and Field wrote, quote, "All USATF athletes are equally aware of and must adhere to the current anti-doping code, and our credibility as the national governing body would be lost if rules were only enforced under certain circumstances." Richardson said in an NBC interview last week that she used the banned substance to cope with the death of her mother, but took responsibility for breaking Olympic rules. Her agent did not immediately respond to a request for comment. USA Track and Field said the World Anti-Doping Agency would reevaluate its rules regarding THC, the main active ingredient in cannabis.
Shia, this is an unfortunate story because she's worked hard, but a simple mistake on her part, using a drug that doesn't actually enhance her ability to race, is now responsible for disqualifying her. What do you think?
Well, I don't want to see it as an unfortunate incident. I want to totally frown against drugs that would enhance your ability and make you better in terms of performance than your opponent. I mean, it should be frowned at. And I want to say this too. The United States has a track record of, having athletes failing doping tests, stuff like that. Remember Marian Jones too of the United States, after winning so many gold medals at the Olympics, she was stripped of those gold medals because she was actually enhanced by drugs. So I think things like this should be taken with deeper hands and sanctions. I don't think 1 month ban should be enough. I think it should be more than 1 month. It should serve as a deterrent to others who might also want to venture into the same thing.
Now, cannabis can be used for pain relief, like CBD oil, for example. However, I don't know if it actually enhances your ability to race, makes you faster, or gives you better endurance. And in America, there are various states that allow for you to use marijuana medicinally or recreationally. So, with laws constantly changing on this particular drug, is it really on the same level as drugs such as steroids, for example, in terms of performance enhancement drugs?
Well, it might not be on the same level as other drugs, but whatever would make you fail a doping test will flag you wrong. And that is why every athlete needs to be careful. They are well educated about all these things. They know. And that's why they come out with guilty excuses. Like a footballer one time ago, I think, what's his name now? This goalkeeper of Cameroon, Onana, said it was his wife's drug he used. These are guilty excuses. I think stiffer action should be taken. Whatever will make you get or fail a doping test should be flagged as red, and as such, you shouldn't take such.
Okagbare, Nigeria's all-time fastest woman and 8-time national 100-meter champion, set a new personal season's best of 10.89 seconds to finish fourth in the 100 meters event at the Istvan Gilai Memorial Meeting in Budapest, Hungary on Tuesday. The Nigerian, who was attempting to complete a hat-trick of 100-meter victories at the meet, was unable to beat two Jamaicans who 2016 Rio Olympics double sprint champion Elaine Thompson Hera 10.71 seconds and Shelly Ann Fraser Price 10.82 seconds, as well as fellow African Marie José Talou of the Ivory Coast, who finished third in 10.86 seconds. Okagbare won the event in 2016 and 2017 and returned to Budapest with a personal season's best. It was her sixth legal performance inside 11 seconds this season and 23rd overall since she first broke 11 seconds at the Aviva Grand Prix in Crystal Palace, London in July 2012. Okagbare will now compete in the Hercules Zepter Diamond League meeting at the Stade Louis XI Stadium in Monaco on Friday, with the goal of becoming the first Nigerian or even African woman to break 22 seconds in the half-lap event. Shayo?
Yeah, I want to say this. It is not the tournament proper. It is just a dress rehearsal preparing you for the tournament itself. So, her not winning it is not a big deal. It's just know where your flaws are, correct them, try to work on your speed, and try to be more prepared for the tournament itself. She's still going for another one this Friday. So hopefully she can get better and better for the tournament itself.
All right, Oshayo, thank you for joining us this morning. It's always a pleasure having you.
The pleasure is always mine.
Thank you again. Thank you to all of you at home and at work watching us this morning. I hope you enjoyed the sports news. Remember, with life is never boring with some sports. I'm your host, Mikhail Tinubu. Enjoy the rest of your day.